everybody. Welcome back to Neptune Straight Talk. We are live on Facebook on a Wednesday night, and I am your host, Dave Sweat.
You are.
I am Janine Bedford Sims.
I am Katie.
And I am John Barbario. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in.
Yes, we definitely appreciate that. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of round of applause.
Whether you're tuning in live or watching after the fact, we thank you. We're very appreciative.
Yes.
If you could do something for us, please hit that blue thumb button on the bottom of your screen, that
Please
like
do.
button. And
do.
if you are willing to, please share this content, get it out there. Just hit the share button and let it go.
Yes,
It'll do its own thing after that.
and it'll help us out a little bit. It doesn't take a couple seconds
That's it.
to hit that like button.
And new to the table, you can find our content on YouTube.
Yes.
And Instagram. Just go to the YouTube page and subscribe, and you get notifications when we put new content up. There's some stuff up there already, but you got to go to Neptune Straight Talk.
Yep.
And there it goes.
Sorry.
We're here on PBS, folks.
Live is fucking is live.
But
Sorry, I'm gonna
still
keep on talking. Keep on talking.
we have some events coming up, some
There you go.
things we've been talking about with you guys for the past couple of weeks, and they're creeping up on us. They're right here. You're gonna see me fighting with this all night long.
You're gonna fight with me because I can't get back to the fucking page.
Listen, is the videos?
No,
going.
but we got
You figure it
a
out.
serious event coming up.
August 29th, live
Yes.
at Sprangles.
Yes.
We're gonna be doing an NFL preview.
Right.
Live, not just live, on Facebook. We're actually going to be there. We hope you all come by.
Please do.
We're going to have a lot of fun activities or funtivities, as I've heard it referred to before. So we hope to see you all there. And then October 8th, Janine got us involved in this. Thank you, Janine.
Oh, thank you.
Kick Cancer Overboard, also at Sprangles. We're going to be doing a live show there. And that is to benefit people who are dealing with cancer in all areas, whether they're nurses, whether they're patients. It's to get them to go on cruises
Yes.
so they can get an escape from what they're going through.
Oh,
And it's a worthy cause.
Great call.
We hope you'll
Good
all
name.
show up for that. Watch us, donate.
Please do.
There's ways you can donate. So you got bracelets for sale. What else you got for sale?
We got glasses,
Shot.
eyeglasses, shot
There you
glasses.
go.
We have tickets for sale for the benefit.
Is there a website people can go to?
They can go right on to Springles and message through Springles
Okay,
on Facebook.
okay.
Yeah, and
Just
then
go to Springles, what's the full name? Sports Bar and,
what does it say, Dave? Springles.
Sprinkle Sports Bar.
Yeah.
there you go, Springles Sports Bar.
Yeah, and we got some fun. We have
Located on Route 33 in Neptune.
right across from Rita's. We got some fun stuff going on that Monday night too. We got
This is the football show.
this is the football to kick off the NFL football season. We have Giant Bear tickets.
Let's go.
We got Giant Bear tickets to raffle off. We have Jet Bengals tickets to raffle off.
Let's go.
And we have our T-shirts for sale and giveaways. We have we're gonna have a trivia game. 3 questions on your favorite team. You're gonna call it up by number, and if you get 3 answers in a row, you get a $50 Visa gift card. How about
Are we
that?
still doing the other chips?
Yeah, we're doing chips.
Okay, so first question right, you get a beer.
A beer, yes.
Second question right, you get a shot.
Yeah. Third question.
You win the
$50 Visa. We don't do Target or Walmart. We want you to do what
You can go wherever
what
you
the
want.
hell you want to do with it.
That's it.
So that's and don't forget we have Giant and Bear tickets in September, not cold. We have an early October Jet game at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. Was represented the AFC in the Super Bowl last year, so that should be
Joe
a good one.
Burrow, Jamar Chase.
I mean, and come in, get a sleeve of tickets, and we're gonna have 50-50 also. So, a lot of fun stuff going on that Monday night.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Can't wait.
I
We've
can't
been
wait.
working on this for a while.
It's gonna be a little different format. We're gonna be standing with mics in hand because we gotta play to the crowd.
Right.
We're gonna be live for you guys also, but it's gonna be more towards the bar. We're gonna be,
If we're not as involved in the chat, don't kill us.
Right.
That's
No,
what
we're
I'm
gonna have either Janine or my daughter Naja.
saying. Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that.
commenting
All
and letting
areas
us know
come.
what
All
you guys are
areas
saying
come.
from home. So that should be fun. But like I said, we're gonna play to the bar for this kick the NFL season show. I'm trying.
And don't forget, Michelle's gonna be bartender. Best bartender.
Oh yeah,
Shitty Shelly.
She said she doesn't want to get on camera. She's just gonna jump in the camera and go, "I'm Shitty Shelly,"
As
and
long-
step out. I said that's okay.
As long as I get one of those shots, that's all I
Yeah,
care.
yeah. They're pretty shitty.
I gotta find out what it's all about.
Yeah.
You've never had one?
No.
Yeah.
You can't have it till the end of the broadcast.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that bad.
It's kind of that.
See, I asked what was in it. No one could tell me.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Evil. It's a shot of pure evil is what it is.
Wow. Shot of pure evil, you say?
Yes, shot of
It really
It
is.
sounds like
It's
it.
a mild little. I'm not downplaying your shit. But it's alright. It's not very strong. It's like a
You're lying. No, I know you're lying because you described it last week and not very strong was not.
it's a sneak up on you kind of shot.
Right.
But, you know, who cares?
Listen, sometimes those are the best kinds of shots.
Yeah. But that's on the 29th. What we're here for tonight is something a lot more serious. We're going to be discussing domestic violence, verbal and physical. It all starts somewhere.
Mental, emotional, sexual.
All of that, all of the above. But
And we have the phone number on the whiteboard right here for the domestic abuse
it's
hotline.
1-800-799-7233.
If you or someone you know needs that number, please use it or get it out to whoever needs it. There are people there for you. You're not in this alone.
And I'm going to throw it to Janine right now because we have just take a quick listen so you have a little backstory on what's going on.
He's about to stand trial with a possible life sentence hanging in the balance. But before Stephen Lorario goes before the judge and jury again, he was questioned by Mark Mulholland. Mark went inside Saratoga County Jail for the first on 13 interview. Mark?
Well, Jim, if Lorario is convicted of trying to kill his girlfriend inside their Greenfield home, he could get up to life in prison. He says he didn't do it, but he's not saying who did.
You can't get a fair shake around here.
42-year-old Stephen Lorario says prosecutors are treating him unfairly in his attempted murder case by recording his phone calls from jail and using them against him. But it's a long-standing practice to record inmates' calls. A message even warns them of that every time they make a call. Lorario was accused of shooting his girlfriend, Katie Gilbert, in the face with a shotgun back in April in their Greenfield trailer. He drove her to the hospital, but initially claimed she fell and cut her head open. Gilbert lost an eye in the shooting.
Do you still love Katie? Yeah. You do? Of course.
During a 15-minute interview inside the jail, he proclaimed his innocence more than a half dozen times.
Did you shoot her? I did not. I did not.
Lorario's first trial was declared a mistrial after 3 days of deliberations because just one juror refused to convict. Because he has 2 prior felony convictions, the Bronx native could go to prison for up to life if he's found guilty after the retrial later this month.
I'm a man fighting for my life here.
So if he didn't do it, who did?
What's your theory on Lorario? What's my theory on it? My theory on this would be that all I would say is maybe you wanna ask her. Maybe you wanna give her a polygraph test. Maybe you wanna ask her.
Jury selection in his retrial begins February 25th. Reporting live in our Saratoga newsroom with coverage you can trust.
Yeah, that's enough of that. Bull crap. I don't know where to go from there.
Some typical behavior going on in that video.
Yeah, definitely. Typical,
if you want to take
denial.
anything away from that video,
Yeah.
typical behavior of an abuser.
Well, there's not really anything very typical about an abuser in general, you know. Getting into some of the information here we have, you know, let's go back to that 1 in 4 women will be abused by their partner, husband, whatever you want, you know, some kind of relationship in their lifetime. That's 1 in 4, you know. 1 in 10 women have been stalked by a partner.
Right.
So, you know, we're talking about abuse. What is abuse, right? You've got physical abuse. Everybody knows what that is. Everyone knows that people get physically abused, but there's mental abuse. There's financial abuse, where men use and women use financials to keep someone where they are. or they control the money and don't let them have anything.
Right.
There's psychological abuse where they break someone down so badly that they don't think they can ever do better than the person that's their abuser. But the statistics are crazy, and worse than that is the abuse, about 30% of the time, the abuse takes place in front of the children. So if you know anything about children who are exposed to different things, you know, there's a percentage of those children that witness abuse that grow up to be abusers. So how do you break the cycle,
Right.
you know? I did tell Dave I wanted to talk, you know, there's abuse on both ends of the stick,
Yeah, no doubt.
but 80% of abuse is against women.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right, and you mentioned something else there, you know, the stalking, that happens so much. It happens so much.
Well, you know, we think abuse is all hitting, so screaming and yelling at someone.
Is it me, or can you
No,
not hear?
it's- yeah, it's-
Yeah,
that's
something's-
why I was-
Something's going on with your mic.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So let me interject while they figure that
Okay.
situation out. So I am a survivor of domestic violence. I'm not a victim. Actually, that fantastic YouTube video that we just watched was me personally. I am that female who was able to survive a domestic violence abusive relationship for just about shy of 7 years. I am part of one of those statistics that actually has the luxury of being able to get away. My situation took me a very long time to understand why, or the fact that I needed to leave the situation. One smack in the face didn't bother me, 2 smacks in the face didn't bother me. Up until April 7th, 2018, little shy of 4 years, me and Steve had gotten into an argument at the house, and what happened was his narcissistic behavior decided to go into overdrive, and he became very ill will in feelings of wanting to know why I was paying the bills the way I was paying the bills, or whatever the situation was, if I took the garbage can out the right way the night before, whatever the case was. Steve and I had gotten into a fight over money, and Steve had walked into my room, and in my room I had quite a selection of, I guess you could say, weapons per se. I am a United States Navy veteran, so I know a thing or two when it comes to weapons. I was also raised by one hell of a Marine, a good part of my childhood, and so I knew a thing or two about how to keep them protected, and the fact that I had 2 children in the house, and the fact that gun safety is a big thing. So that night, Steve and I had gotten into a massive argument, and he definitely was on a mission, because I had all my weapons and my guns very well hidden in my bedroom. And in the beginning of the confrontation that we were having, he decided to sit there and argue with me about why I was saving money into buying things for our house and fixing things. And we got into such a deep argument to where it turned into I was a this, I was a that, I was always the person in the wrongdoing. Meanwhile,
Just the verbal abuse part.
oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
without a doubt. I always got beat up, whether I worked 50-hour weeks or 90-hour weeks. I got home from work every single day, and it was just one thing after another thing after another thing. And that night we had gotten into an argument so bad about money and situations and everything that was going so wrongly. He had pulled my 12-gauge double-barrel shotgun on me in my kitchen, and he had pointed the gun directly downwards into my face and I literally tucked my tail between my legs and kissed the next 5 years of my life completely history. I almost called his bluff, but a part of me knew that if I had called his bluff, something could go wrong. And well, come to find out, about 5-6 hours after that situation, Steve and I, the argument that we had gotten into was 10 times more rough and physical
Just, yeah, say it,
and
physical.
scary and tear jerking, and you didn't know what was going to happen in the next 5 seconds. Steve had punched me so hard in the face that he had physically, within the next 30 to 40 seconds, had completely knocked me out. And the only thing that made me realize the fact that I had just been TKO'd was the fact of my military training and knowing what the first signs of a brain injury are. And I remember what felt like 10, maybe 15 minutes later was me stand up, and I remember looking at Steve in the kitchen, and he's like, "What the hell are you going to tell the hospital? I have to take you to the hospital." I'm like, "Well, what the hell does he have to take me to the hospital for? He only punched me in the face." So I go to the hospital, and I remember all these doctors and nurses and cops and all these things going on, and I'm like, what the hell happened? I'm still so oblivious to what the hell happened, because I don't usually
Wow.
get my ass handed to me by anybody.
Wow.
So I remember being in the ER of Saratoga Hospital, and I remember them pumping IVs and asking me questions. And then I remember going outside, and then I remember loud noises, and it was crazy because I remember seeing a helicopter. I remember getting in a helicopter, and I remember telling the people in the helicopter, and forgive me, I have a very funny, awkward, twisted sense of humor to deal with my situations.
Ask for forgiveness.
No apologies necessary.
No.
I remember telling everyone in the helicopter, like, I was in the Navy. I never got to ride in helicopters. I want a window seat. And they must have thought I was absolutely nuts,
Wow.
because next thing I know, it was Tuesday. And Steve and I had gotten into an argument on Saturday. So I lost Sunday, I lost Monday, and I lost half of Tuesday.
And still not knowing
What the hell happened to
you
me?
thought you just got knocked out.
I thought I got TKO'd. I thought he got a good side swipe, whatever the case may be. But
Wow.
so those 2 days go by, and I remember the first day I woke up in ICU, I was incubated. And the first things I've ever learned about a respirator and how your breathing impalements and your lungs work and your diaphragm and yada 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 is I had a husband who had passed away 10 years ago due to traumatic issues from being a quadriplegic. So I knew everything about a tracheotomy, tracheostomy, ventilator, everything. So when I had first originally woke up in ICU, I extubated myself. And I remember taking all these crazy tubes out of me, trying to figure out why I was incubated inside a hospital, knowing that I still can't figure out why I landed up here. Steve and I had only gotten into a fist fight. He punched me in the face, not a big deal. I've taken many black eyes before. And well, apparently this one was special, because 2 days after I found out I was in ICU, I also found out I had lost my right eye due to the gunshot wound and the punch to the face. They had also taken 12 pellets out of my head, which still leaves me with 6 in my head. If they had actually tried to dig the last remaining 6 bullets out of my head, it would have left me in a vegetable state of mind. And I didn't want that. I am a single mom of 2 great, gorgeous kids, and I hope Serena Bina is watching. Serena May, your ass better be watching. Anyway, my baby girl just turned 16 August 10th, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
My
birthday,
munchkin.
Serena.
So, my kids, we have gone through hell and back, and if there's one thing I've learned from trying to realized that a man of 6 years who said he loved me, now I say quote unquote, said he loved me, he was also a very top priority, grade A narcissist. I didn't learn what the word narcissist was until after I started dealing with what I was dealing with. And the funny story is, Steve was supposed to leave 3 days prior to that incident that led into me having a traumatic brain injury and the loss of my right eye, and many, many things that go along with getting shot in the face. He is some sort of special because in all actuality, like a lot of you have saw in the video in the beginning of the show tonight, that he really is completely oblivious to what the hell he did to me. But what I can tell you is everything I have endured after the shooting, I had wound up turning into a grade A master choice alcoholic. I didn't know how to deal with my feelings. I soaked them up to the bottom of a bottle. And one night, I guess I must have thought I had the audacity of a cat who has 9 lives. And come to find out, I only had 3. I had wrapped my car around a telephone pole one night because I was drinking on a football Sunday night. Speaking of football, we spoke about it earlier. The only problem was I was one of those alcoholics that was so stuck in their feelings that didn't know how to cope with anything that I had crashed my car around in an entire tree, and unfortunately for my situation, my babies were in my car. Now, a lot of you can feel free to...
No. We ain't nobody passing judgment at this table, and I hope none of our viewers will be passing judgment. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that was a great. Obviously, it wasn't a.
Oh
good
yeah, no, top grade A,
I'm
no
not
match.
condoning or giving that any, but
People are saying they can't
Until
hear.
you until you've walked in someone else's shoes,
Don't judge.
Don't get to
Just
judge.
saying the audio was cracking in and out. There's 3 people who said it.
Okay.
Audio's fading in and out.
all right.
So we'll just try and speak loudly.
I can hear project.
I can hear everybody.
Sounds good
Can
now.
you hear me? Janine?
I hear you.
All right, I can hear you. All right, is that better, guys? Thanks.
Just let us know. Let us know.
Yeah. How about now?
Can you hear me now?
Verizon or Sprint?
Beat me again.
Yeah, he's a traitor. No, but listen, we're not gonna. Like I said, I'm not condoning what you did, but I'm not
We've
here.
seen 6 hitters and 5 of them struck out.
It's your phone.
Satan, the spawn of Satan, has decided to come visit us tonight on that Church Talk.
If you weren't here earlier when I mentioned PBS.
Yeah, I don't like being
totally
interrupted
PBS.
by comments though. I mean, I
Well, that
heard
they
it fine.
can't hear us is kind of important.
Yeah, I know, but I can read. Well, you were right in the middle of something.
I was.
You-
Sorry.
are
I
you-
am 10-second time. Forgive me.
Yeah, no. We're I just want you to know that don't worry about anything you have to say and anybody passing judgment. Just speak whatever you want to speak, and don't feel pressured to talk about anything you don't want to talk about. I'm just gonna lay that out there.
All right. So, yeah, I am one of those knuckleheads who never learned how to process feelings. And I coped with my feelings at the bottom of a 12-pack of Corona.
Therapy, guys. Therapy. I'm just saying it helps.
No, it is.
And I'm not trying to cut you off or
grade A.
yeah.
Best thing that
Don't
could
look
ever
for it in the
happen
bottle.
to anybody. No, absolutely. So I started going to therapy a little over a month after I had gotten shot. Actually, my first appointment was May 31st, 2018. I got shot April 7th, 2018.
Right.
And it was the best decision I ever made.
Serena says that's my mama.
That's my mama. That's my baby.
Hey,
She
baby
knows
girl.
it. She knows it. Serena and I have been through hell and back. And
but looking forward to better things.
Absolutely.
Just keep that in
Yeah.
there. Positive thoughts.
My Serena May looks just like her mama, acts like her father, and long story short, Serena and I had actually lost her father back in 2012 from the repercussions of being a quadriplegic, which stemmed from a little bit of a addiction aspect, just kind of like my situation did after I got hurt. Good.
But he did what, you know, he jumped in a
Right.
shallow lake.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he
you
knew
know.
what he was doing. But
Yeah,
anyway.
But you know, not knowing how shallow the water was, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
It's but anyway, so what I'm trying to say in a long story short is
Yeah.
I just turned 38 on Monday, and
38. Wow.
Yeah.
I just had to put it out there.
I'm still the youngest one in this room, and I'll enjoy every second of that.
Hey, easy there, easy.
Happy
You
thoughts.
used to be me. You used to be me.
And what I want to say with the whole domestic violence is, you know, for people who are out there, and I know there's someone there who's thinking, you know, they don't know what domestic violence may seem. And domestic violence has such a wide range of things that it's part of. It's the mental abuse, it's the physical abuse, it's the emotional abuse, you know, telling you that you're not worth it, that you're just another person in the world, that they don't care about you, or whatever the case may be is, you know, always keep a positive attitude about who you are from the inside out. You know, don't ever let anybody tell you you're not something that you know you're not. If you ever feel like someone is beating you down that badly, like, there's so many resources out there. The DV hotline. Every county also has a domestic violence nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
And
You have some. Yeah. You have hotlines listed and some statistics.
Finish, please.
Yes.
You know, I want to go over this with you because I think everyone needs to know, no domestic violence relationship starts out with physical abuse.
absolutely not.
It's
I
little
wanted
silly
to touch
things.
on the triggers. Yeah.
Little silly things like someone who's super jealous, or
Yes.
someone who wants to know your every move, or choose your friends, or pick your clothes, or tries to change you, and you think, oh, he loves me so much.
But yeah, he's trying to control you so nobody else can enjoy any
It's
bright
really a
side of
defect
you.
in his personality.
Absolutely.
And that's a huge red flag, huge red flag. You know, when they get you to pull away from your family and your close friends so that you have nowhere to go.
To where you literally go to
Yeah, a little
work,
feedback from your phone. Volume up.
you go home, you go to work, you go home. Like with Steve and I, it was literally like there was never a way to where I could ever have girls' night out or stay an hour behind after work and hang out with a few people or shoot the business with somebody on a Saturday or go see someone else on a Sunday. It was always had to be like he had to make it known that I was his girlfriend and there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like he just had to be, he was on such a jealousy kick that he had such low self-esteem about himself to where he felt good about himself when he was beating me down.
Yeah, you break somebody down when you want to build yourself up, and you know, you say there's domestic violence and 80% is, you know, against women, but you know,
Actually more, but
you know,
yeah.
we are a rare breed, us men. We are manipulative bastards, and I'll be the first to say that. You know, and you show weakness, we prey on weakness, and those type of men. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
So I just want to pose a question to you. What do you say to people who have a boyfriend? I mean, I want triggers. I want like the first time it wasn't obviously it wasn't a smack. It was a shut up. Was it a insult? Was it a and then it was a quick, I'm sorry. I want to get to end
The
that.
first time that he ever really completely broke me down was the first time he legitimately, oh, this is a hard one. The first time he legitimately punched me dead square in the face in front of my father, and my father did nothing. Like, this is how controlling this man was, like.
Wait.
And
fail. I mean, come on, Pops.
legitimately. And yeah, no, it was a really.
They control the friends and the family too. Don't think he was just controlling her.
Yeah, but I don't care.
That's a little extensive, but
Right.
But they start to make-
I'm Pops. I don't care how small I am, how big my seed, my baby girl. I mean, something's being done in the moment.
yeah.
Right, yeah,
I'm
no,
just
I didn't
saying,
have that
so-
moment of strength. And it's crazy because I grew up with two cousins who are the blessing in disguise besides my sister, who has been my rock through this entire process. And Lindsay, I
Shout
love
out to
you.
Lindsay Beans.
I know you're watching.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Give her some
And,
love.
My two cousins, Michael and James, I am literally a female version of Michael. He is a United States Marine Corps Marine. And whatever Michael always did with his life, Katie followed suit. I am literally a female version of him, except I'm about 5 feet taller.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
We
Shots fired.
represent the Lollipop King.
No, he's gonna give him right back to me because I finally get to see him tomorrow after not being able to see him since I first had to testify with this whole ordeal. But anyway, domestic violence is a biatch. And the first sign, like I had just said to Dave, the first sign was I knew he had my entire family, I don't even know the proper words, snowblown, conniving, this, that, the other thing, like.
I mean, I'm sorry, I can't relate. I know it's hard for me to relate.
Because you're a dad.
The physical part of that story, I
I
don't get
please
it.
interject. I
I
want
don't
to
get
hear.
that.
I want to go into like.
But I know for a fact that they definitely snow your family.
Right.
Your family thinks they're the greatest people, and your family thinks that.
How do you pull the wool over dad's eyes? I don't get it. And you know your baby girl's tendencies. Like when your daughter or your son, if you're a true parent, you know when they're uncomfortable. Do you not? Do you not know when?
I know when my babies are not uncomfortable.
They may not
I
say
know.
anything.
But how good
in the
did you get at
teenager,
hiding it?
but you know.
How good did you get at hiding it and protecting his secret?
And it was crazy because, and it comes back to my dad when I had first met Steve. My dad was dying of cancer. Like, it came back and kicked his butt tenfold. And so a huge part of me was to try to make my dad happy before he went, or whatever the case may be. So
Right.
when it came to Steve and I arguing, like, I tried to not include my dad because he couldn't beat himself out of a wet paper bag. And not for nothing, like, I saw my dad's true colors stick out that night when he legitimately watched Steve cold clock my scrawny self across my couch.
I mean, I want to
And-
speak to the fear.
What's that?
The fear that, over time they kind of groom you and you start to make excuses for their behavior.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You find fault in something you did that caused them to do what they did. So if you didn't do this, they wouldn't have done that.
Right.
And they convince you of that. I think that the fear of what's gonna happen if you stand up for yourself, or what's gonna happen if you tell somebody, it's gonna be worse than the first time. And I know people have a lot of opinions.
Just get out.
Just why didn't you
It
just
ain't that
leave?
easy.
Why
Let
did
me
you
tell
put up
you.
with that?
Trying to leave, and here's a prime example. We're trying to leave Steve.
Disinfect.
When I first decided to move out of Monticello, which is down in Sullivan County, New York, where I originally met Steve, and I decided to move further upstate New York, because for some reason that felt like the good thing to do.
Can I interject real quick? So before you moved far away from your family,
Even further.
okay,
away.
even further away, was he abusive? Was he verbally or physically abusive? See, I mean, like,
And it
no,
was
no,
hard.
and
You said
I don't
something.
want to come off like,
Yeah,
I don't want for a second come off like, come on.
I want
And
you
it was
to-
crazy because,
But-
just like you said, I hit it very
Very
well.
well.
Like the
but
two,
that's where I
my two
want-
big brothers, like
It's
That's
a
where
dirty
I
little
want you to
secret.
get to. I want
It
you to get
is.
the root
Like,
to the
you're
root of
embarrassed. You're
why
embarrassed.
women will stay when they know, even go further away from their loved ones.
because at that time
Part of
we're so
manipulation.
stuck
Right, John,
in
yeah.
that line of BS that someone is actually showing us attention from something that we lacked
Negative or
somewhere
positive?
before.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And they love you so much.
At that
it
moment,
drives
at that
them
given moment,
to that
you
degree.
feel like you are unstoppable, like you are Wonder Woman, like
Wow.
nothing in the world is gonna come back and get you.
Wow.
Because at that moment, you feel that love, that capacity that somebody is giving you.
And maybe if I move away from my family, which is, he's stated, is
Oh,
the
absolutely.
problem, things will get better.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You definitely-
Wow. Talk about
definitely-
narcissistic.
But we as women think we can fix them.
Right.
That we're
Yes.
the ones that are going to change them.
Right, example.
We're so special that we're going to be the ones that make them a better person and do right.
I worked more on his trying to help him kick this heroin addiction that I found out he had. I put more work into his recovery than he did. And obviously, it took me a minute and years to figure it out. He was not ready, which is fine and dandy. Let's figure out the baby steps to this aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it's just, addiction is a
John, you got something to add?
Yeah, Kelly wanted, what advice would you give to someone going through that?
going through the DV, you need to pick up that phone that weighs 25,000 pounds and you need to call that domestic violence hotline. Because they are the
And don't
only...
keep the secret.
No.
Let people know.
The second you open your
Don't be
mouth,
ashamed.
you have no idea how impactful your story could be to the next person that's
Right.
suffering.
How about let the friend that can't keep a secret.
Right.
Everybody has that friend. You know, you can tell them anything, and I'm telling you, I will not tell nobody. And an hour later, it's on social media. Tell that person, and then they'll promise they won't tell, and then everybody will know, and then maybe you get some help
I feel
before
like our
it gets
silence
out of
is
hand.
their superpower.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
Are you feel empowered about? Don't tell. All predators do that.
Keep
Don't
it-
tell. It's
that's
our
how-
secret.
That's how they thrive.
Right,
That's how
right.
they
All,
continue to thrive.
that's their game plan. That's their MO.
That's how they boost their ego.
Right, and it's the our secret. Oh, I won't do this, and I do this because if your dad and mom didn't come for Thanksgiving, I wouldn't have smacked you around when they left. I
If
mean,
you weren't so mouthy and didn't speak your mind.
right.
Didn't have an opinion.
And let me point out, what a coward! If you have ever used your manly strength against a lesser than, not in I just want to say physically, strength-wise, and you've dominated or smacked around your girlfriend, you are a piece of shit. I don't care how that sounds. You are a piece of shit. You did it. So
Listen,
let's just throw that out there.
If you're doing that, you're taking advantage of their love, you're taking advantage of
Yeah.
their confidence
And
they place in you.
I've had
It's all about taking
I've had girlfriends jump on my back and try to
Terrible.
gouge my, scratch my face, and I've never ever raised a hand or a nothing.
Well, there's a few changes that have to happen. So here's the other thing I watched. My son is 23.
Right.
And this whole new age group, girls think it's okay to smack on their boyfriends. And then
No,
boyfriends
no,
think it's
no.
okay to smack them back. And they both think it's okay to hit each other because they both got their hits in. And first and foremost, it took me years to figure this out because I could be physically aggressive when I was younger. I had a tendency, yeah, not me. And coming out of an abusive relationship, it made me abusive. It made me aggressive in my next relationship because I was determined not to
To
be
fall back
abused
into that.
or to take anybody's shit.
So,
And so
Well, good for you.
You become aggressive at that point, and then I had to rein that back in because that wasn't fair to my partner at the time.
Right.
You know, he was being verbally and physically abused by me because I had been verbally and physically abused. So I think this new generation is very different. Like, if my son's in a bar and his ex-girlfriend slaps him in the face twice, and
Yeah.
the bouncers throw my son out of the bar.
Right.
So we've encouraged this young lady, and I use that term lightly when girls are acting like animals in a bar. This encourages her to do it again, and
Yeah.
it's okay. And then, you know, someone turns around and she gets hurt really bad,
Right.
and not that she deserved that. I don't mean it in that sense of the word, but
Yeah.
I don't know what we're not teaching our children, that things are changing so much.
Yeah. John, you got some insight, man? What do you think about a dad not stepping up to the plate and witnessing?
Listen,
Yeah.
it's rough because I don't know your father.
No. I'm
not trying to
you
shit
speak
on
from
him
your
or
heart.
anything.
Speak from your heart.
But I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine standing by and watching that happen.
It would.
I just,
no matter what was in
I
front
can't
of you.
even, the thought of
Listen,
I can't even process.
I'm a mom, and I would smile at my mugshot.
Right.
Yeah.
Straight
yeah.
Right, I would go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
jail.
yeah.
I would have no problem going to jail.
But
Yeah.
there's extenuating circumstances to everything. You have no idea what, and this is what I say about people judging a situation like, why didn't you leave? Why'd you stay so long? Until you're in those shoes and in that situation and in that moment,
Right.
Right.
you really can't understand.
It's no
or even-
understanding anybody's shoes.
So is there a way that people can maybe shows like this, but is there another way that people can empathize and
I
you know,
think-
develop that empathy to be able
I
to?
think you've got to step beyond that. I think the goal right now should be to stop abuse before it starts.
So know the
Know the triggers, know
Yes.
the warning signs, especially with teenagers. Like, I was looking at the statistics I had written here,
Okay.
and 21% of high school females, they say they've experienced some kind of physical or sexual abuse from their partner. And believe it or not,
Wow.
10% of high school males have also gotten physical or sexual abuse. So one of the things that leads into
Wow.
domestic violence that a lot of people don't know about, because you're in a relationship, so a lot of people think that sex is their right.
Right. Yeah.
When you're in a physically abusive relationship, sex is a control mechanism also. So there is no saying no to your partner. And they'll coerce you to the point of, if you're afraid to say no, because if you do that, it's gonna end up in a physical altercation.
Oh, absolutely. I've been in those shoes before.
Yeah.
You are technically, could be sound asleep and you're gonna do what they say. And in high school, I think they're using this also, like one of the things they do is convincing a female not to use contraceptives. That's a form of abuse.
No doubt.
Right,
Like,
No doubt. Like,
harassing
yeah.
them until they agree.
right.
Or pushing them into doing something they're not ready for,
Right.
because, or.
And like I said, we talked about this when it came to teenage pregnancies. I was like, as disgusting as it sounds, the guy's in control when it comes to that.
But this is where the abuse starts.
That's where I'm getting at.
They're
Like,
controlling the situation, they're
you tell a
controlling the
girl
person.
don't use contraceptives, and he has the ability to
Because that's his way
the
of
rhythm
trying to
method
lock
to
you
be
in.
put it a nice way.
Control you.
That's ridiculous,
And
man.
do
And
what he says.
I wish a motherfucker would. Excuse my French. Yo,
But that's
yo.
crazy because when I found out I was pregnant with my son, Angelo, who is Steve's son, when we found out I was pregnant, I was like, oh no, this is not a good thing.
A lot of abuse will
And he
accelerate
literally,
after
I'm
children.
talking like this guy was like, I'm gonna keep you barefoot and pregnant. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Wow.
And so
Trigger,
I Googled it one day.
trigger, ladies.
Literally. And I was like, yeah, no, he did this on purpose. Like, he was on a mission. And, you know,
We got-
my son is the coolest thing in the world. He's such a mama's boy. And he knows, like, he's no dummy. He's 8 now. He was just about to turn 5 when all this happened. Like, he knows what daddy did. Like, kids are resilient. So if you think you're sticking around with your man or your girl because the kids see you getting your ego hurt, or feel like you got your balls in a vice, or whatever the case may be, like, know that you are not the only one going through a situation like this. Like, that hotline, that number is not a joke.
Don't be afraid to
Like,
dial a number.
pick that phone up. It's gonna feel like 25,000 pounds, but as soon as somebody's on the other end saying hello,
Yeah,
Or-
you're right, Heather, and more
What's-
violence is not the answer, and it doesn't fix situations. I was just making a little joke. I don't mean be violent. Just me, sorry. Didn't mean
I
to
was
joke.
not
And that's
making a
it.
joke when it comes to my son.
Yeah, and Paula says,
Sorry.
Paula, can you want to read that comment, John?
Yeah, I was in a relationship once, he hit me once, so when he went to work, I packed all his shit and left. You can, or all my shit and left. You can get out when you can.
And mine found me 6 hours later.
Okay, so that worked for you, Paula, and I appreciate you sharing. Thank you for sharing.
6
I
hours
really
later,
appreciate
he
that.
was knocking on my door where I had moved into with a friend to escape. I literally packed everything into a truck, no boxes, no bags, just threw it all into a truck and moved into an apartment with what I could carry in the back of a truck. My mom drove me there, and he literally within 6 hours found my car and found my apartment.
And I mean, okay, I guess with that, you don't want to continue on. Okay, I understand. No, babe. I apologize.
No?
But yeah, you gotta know. And like I said, family members, friends, help. You know when your friend is going through some shit, you make a call for them.
right?
You know what I
And,
mean? Don't
you
be
know,
afraid to be a tattletale, especially when it comes to domestic violence.
Is this the kind of
ain't
situation?
ain't about holding up no kind of, you know what I'm
I
But
saying?
you're embarrassed. I think you're embarrassed that it's happened and that you've let it happen. You feel really embarrassed.
course.
But is this?
Absolutely, but I will also tell you, when I finally had the chance to let that demon loose, let that skeleton, creep off my skin, let that factor disappear, all that anger and hate, I finally got it off my chest and was able to actually feel some kind of release in my body, holy hell, the hard part's over. I finally admitted it. That's the hardest part, is manning up to that. And for a lot of females who are going through that, I get the fact that you want to be strong and you need to do this and you need to do that. Trust me. I know what it's like to be strong, and I still fight that battle every day, and you're only as strong as you allow yourself to be. So if you need to be vulnerable for 5 minutes out of a 24-hour period, you're good. Your ratio is perfect.
Be emotional. Be emotional by yourself.
You can get in your feelings.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah, let it go.
Because if you don't feel your feelings, you're going to want to stuff them. And when you stuff them, you make bad decisions, and you put yourself around bad things happen.
Irrational
It
decisions,
just
yeah.
keeps going and going, and nothing
Cycle.
good happens, and it's just bad juju. Stay away from it. Get
Yeah.
that shit off your chest.
But I also wanted to talk about if you think someone's being abused
Right?
or possibly
A victim of.
of abuse,
Right.
there's a few things you can look for.
Okay.
One of them would be a partner that puts them down in front of other people,
Oh, really?
continuously tries to knock them down in front of others.
Right.
Another one is they're very fearful of arguing with someone or causing that person to become angry. You'll see them try and cut it off before it starts.
Compensate for the aspect.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
quick, try and switch
Right.
it, move it, or we're gonna go home, whatever. Make excuses for their partner's behavior. This is a big one. This person will make excuses for anything and everything this person does to keep that secret hidden.
Right, and I'll give you a huge prime example, and hope to God my big brothers aren't watching. But I have to see one of them tomorrow, so he'll find out one way or another. So I was pregnant with Angelo. It was probably 2013 time frame. Yeah, because I had him in the beginning of 2014. So 2013 time frame, I brought him down to Jersey to meet my two big brothers and my sister. And we were actually going to a Blue Claws game as a surprise birthday present for my big brother Michael. And Michael, I am like a female version of him, just 6'4". at least close to it anyway.
Yeah, we say he's a little one.
He's a little guy.
He's a wee little guy.
But you know what? He's a Marine. He's
Yeah,
my big
not
brother.
Tough as nails.
He is a force to be reckoned with, I promise you that. And so anyway, so I've learned all these things from Mike, and the one thing is we had showed up to that Blue Claw Stadium, and that day Steve, Angelo's father, was trying to persuade me into getting into this giant big money scheme deal of a lifetime that could make us so much.
He was trying to make you a crook.
Right,
Yeah.
right, in the drug dealing wave.
Yeah.
And,
So yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah,
And
we're gonna cut right to the chase on that asshole.
right, yeah, no, I hold nothing back. I have
Yeah.
no filter.
Yeah.
So when I had seen my two big brothers that day at the Blue Claw Stadium, I looked up. I was like, "Oh, son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son of a bitch." I was like, "These two are going to be able to pin me out of a needle in a haystack kind of scenario
Oh, they're
where
gonna
he's
read
going
you.
to just read me like a book."
Yeah.
And I was like, "How am I going to be able to hide and deny this? Blame it on the pregnancy. Why not? It works for everybody."
Wow.
Except they didn't buy it. Like, they're no dummies. They grew up around me my entire life, and they're like, "Yeah, no, something's wrong, Katie. Something's going on. And my cousin Michael, the Marine, he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna figure this out," because he's determined. When he wants to find an answer to something, when it comes to me, he will find his answer. And we finally talked, and he broke it out of me, and cat came out the bag, and then shit went downhill real quick after that.
Brothers don't like that shit.
No.
But that's also one of the reasons that another sign is family and friend alienation.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
They don't want the people who
Yep.
know you best
Sure.
to
Yep.
see you, because they are gonna catch on eventually.
Oh yeah.
You can only hide so much. Marks that you've been crying for hours, all of these
Black
different-
eyes. There's only so much
Fingerprints on
foundation you
your
can
wrist.
actually use.
John, you gotta read.
Well, yeah, so Tina was saying sharing your story allows others to share theirs, allows them to not be embarrassed, and you are showing there can be a way out.
There's
Appreciate it.
definitely a
Very
way
well
out.
said. And Flip said something too.
Going back to teaching the young ladies, I think that a good barometer of how a man will treat you is the way he treats his mother and other women in his family.
Very well said, Flip.
Absolutely.
You see how, or pets too. You see how somebody treats. See how a male treats his pet, or his mom.
That's
His
what you
mom first and foremost, and his sisters. Okay, but you watch how a human treats a pet.
Or children.
More a pet, because let me tell you why a pet is more revealing. Is because you have this human power. They are dog, we are man, and they will an asshole will kick his dog in front of people, not realizing what he's doing, because he's trying to exude this dominance over this pit bull or this dog. So
It's not just the males.
No. It's females too. Angry
I know
people treat
quite a few
animals
of them.
nastily, but that's a good sign to know that you're dealing with assholes. The way they treat their mom, first and foremost, but animals too.
And they're
because-
kids. If they
right.
got kids
Yeah.
and they're showing that, like, they actually give.
Yeah.
Were your children home?
No, lucky for me, my kids were not home. Funny story. Not really that funny, but it is funny because it's how I cope with it. But anyway, the week Steve shot me was actually the week Easter fell on April Fool's Day, which was what, 1 in 4 years or however many years, because I think it was a leap year that year too, 2018.
Yeah.
It's quite a shit show actually.
Right.
The kids were actually at my mom and my stepdad's visiting out in Pennsylvania. So, and here's another part where the justice system has its way of screwing you.
Well, failing. Just
Right.
Yeah.
Failing you also.
Failing
But
justice.
sometimes they screw you.
Because my kids weren't physically at home when Steve shot me. My kids are not physically abided by the laws of a restraining order unless they are physically with me.
This is New York, right?
That's New York.
This
that's-
is
yeah,
the
not New
upstate of New
Jersey.
York.
Right.
This is New York,
Yeah,
not
it's a little
Jersey.
different entity.
Jersey's
I'll let
very
you guys know
different.
what happens when I move in a few weeks.
Jersey's very
But I'll be
different.
here.
Yeah, it's very different.
No, absolutely.
But
And
How different?
It's different to the point where if you have physical custody of your children and there's a violent crime against you, minimally, they'll get supervised visitation, if not the visitation taken away.
Yeah, see, in the state of New York, this SOB still has parental rights, which
Isn't
I
that
finally
crazy?
get my
He's
day in court.
incarcerated with parental rights
They don't-
Right.
after
they don't
shooting the
necessarily-
mother in the face with a shotgun.
You would still have to go back and separate the parental rights, but I believe in
Yes.
New Jersey you can.
In
For
the
a
state of New
violent
York,
crime
and
like
believe
that.
it or not, as crazy as this sounds, being in New York, which is the worst state of the United States of America, because I live in the middle of no and where.
No, much love to our New York followers. You know what I'm saying?
I love you guys. I know 90% of you are because
Are not
of me.
legislators.
But anyway, we
Right.
all know upstate New York sucks. So let's just admit it. Acceptance is the key to all our problems. Page 417 of the big book.
You got
So,
something to add, John?
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, as far as restraining orders go, how often have you heard of a situation where someone was waiting for a restraining order and they were forced to wait?
you don't wait.
They were forced to wait. But
You can hear-
I've read so many stories of people who
Haven't
reached
been
out
granted,
and they're like, you haven't fit this criteria. You have 3 of the things, but you
Right.
don't have the 4th
That
thing,
doesn't
so you
happen
don't
in
get
New
a
Jersey.
restraining
That
order.
doesn't happen
Lori,
here.
Lori Huber has something to say. Can you, oh, it's a long one.
Lori Holber,
Lori Huber, say, yeah, sorry.
you threw me off.
I'm sorry, man. And sorry to you, Lori, I don't have my glasses on.
As someone who served with Katie, I was shocked when this happened. Katie was always such a badass and a tough girl. I think it's important to understand how, even if you think you could never wind up in a domestic abuse situation, abusers can manipulate you and you get there without even realizing it.
So true.
Very well said, Lori.
I love you.
Oh, that was.
no matter how bad you are, nobody's badder than a
That
bullet.
is so nice.
So staying
We
on
were
the,
stationed on the same ship.
Yeah,
I was
go
gonna say, staying on the positive, side,
All right.
out of a terrible situation, like what, I know you're doing, you're talking to people.
I am. I have quite the cheerleading squad.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's.
First and foremost, my rock, my knight in shining armor is my sister. She knows
Yes.
I'm going to start crying, so I can't even.
We,
I did this last night.
Those are good tears.
And
Happy
These
tears.
are the good kind.
Yeah.
my sister, through everything I have gone through, from the day that I got shot, that she got that phone call, she has been my rock, my mountain, my hope, my strength.
Wow.
My willpower, my
I think
desire
you're a
to
little.
keep fighting.
You gotta give a little bit to
Absolutely.
Lindsay. Put-
And she's
That's-
teaching you how
that's
to
big.
find that within
That's big,
yourself.
Lindsay.
Right. No, absolutely. She really is.
Yeah.
She calls me on my BS like she did
Yeah.
earlier. But she is,
Lindsay says, suck it up.
yeah, I am Buttercup. I am Buttercup.
You're an ass.
She
We just
is.
gave you a round of applause and
No,
everything.
Tough love, tough love.
But I'll tell you what, she, even last night, I wouldn't let her sit around anyone else when I was speaking and talking about my story at this
Yeah.
family support group meeting at her recovery center at Hope Sheds Light in Toms River. And I looked at her, I was like, I am sweating like a grown man, like something, my anxiety's up. And usually I can handle my story, you know. The one thing with domestic violence is being able to own what you went through and be like, you know what, I got through it, so can you, so can you, so can you, so can you.
Yeah.
And it's like, my goal and my dream in life is to be that voice for those people who can't be that voice for themselves. Like,
They need you.
Yes.
I'm gonna change the world. with
Listen,
domestic violence.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
They
I'm
absolutely
telling
need
you
you.
right now.
Listen, and real quickly, I have to touch on this because we're gonna start a GoFundMe for Katie. Is real briefly, Katie, could you just let the people
Yes.
know the avenue you're gonna take to reconstruct or
Right.
Okay.
My sister reached out to a TV show on TLC called Body Parts, which is a doctor who is an anaplastologist, which is someone who makes
prosthetics.
fake prosthetics for people, not just hands, fingers, toes, ankles, feet, whatever the case may be. So she had reached out to Body Parts and let them know that her sister was in a domestic violence relationship, lost me with the loss of my right eye. And finally, in April, they reached out to her and said they were going to be casting for the new series, and they really want to talk about me and hear my story. So I did an hour phone call. I did an hour and a half Zoom interview. I sent pictures of what I looked like before I lost my eye. pictures of what I look like right after my first rounds of surgery, and pictures of what I look like now. And then when the woman found out that my big dream is to design and make my own line of eye patches for people who suffer from eye traumas and everything else that go along with eye issues, the TV show wanted to hear my story from the voice of the girl behind the eye patch. And I did that, and now I get the opportunity to be flown down to Texas to be able to be on the TV show and get a prosthetic. But they pay for the hotel stay, they pay for the flight for me and my...
They don't pay for the prosthetic.
Right.
That makes no sense.
That's where
So
I get
what are we talking ballpark figure?
anywhere. The Google, thank you Google, said anywhere from $2,100 to $8,900 per eyeball.
So let's get working, NST family.
10,000.
We are starting tonight. We'll have Janine put up a GoFundMe on our page, our tech genius.
Yes,
And we
you
will work
made
at-
my face look so pretty on NXT.
Yes,
I love
we
you
will
to
work
pieces.
towards that. We will work towards helping Katie in any way we can
Absolutely.
to soften the blow when it comes to paying for her prosthetic.
And I didn't make your face look pretty. You are a beautiful woman.
Yes,
And
thank you for saying that.
not having your eye does not make you any less beautiful than when you did. You're beautiful on the inside, you're beautiful on the outside.
I love you, Janine.
He can't take that from you.
Ever.
And thank you
And
so
I
much.
have to hurry up because I'm about to lose it.
Thank you so much for doing this.
You need a tissue?
I enjoy it every second. And
Yeah.
all of you on NST Live, you can find me through friend request, and there's something going off. If you ever want to just shoot the shit and talk and hear about my story and my trials and my tribulations, I'm all about it. I love talking. I have the gift of gab. I am originally a Jersey girl. I will be back.
Yeah, we had to tone her
permanently.
down because it would have been like
I
filth
did.
and
That
flarn.
did. Because I'm still a Navy
Filth and
sailor.
flarn.
So I have I was very good. I was well behaved tonight.
Yeah.
But if
Thank you.
anyone ever wants to talk, I'm all ears. Just find me. It's not hard.
Yeah.
No, I want to extend my biggest thanks. I'll let Janine.
I just wanted to say that I got the privilege to have the conversation with you prior to the show.
Right.
Yes.
And your story was not just inspiring,
Riveting,
but just I was in awe and also very angry at some of the things that we talked about with
Yes.
medical insurance and things like that. That something that you're going on a TV show for should be covered by your insurance.
Yes.
But I did tell Dave that I also suffered through a lot of domestic violence for about 5 years, and I'm also a person who takes no shit from anybody. I'll throw a punch quicker than the next
Right.
guy.
Everybody knows Janine. Knows she ain't mine.
But it just goes to show that anybody can become
A victim.
a victim of abuse
Yes.
and
Or as Katie put it, a
survivor
survivor.
of abuse.
Right. And my willpower is to know that, even though he did what he did to me and I lost my right eye, I have a brain injury, I still do this, I still have these issues.
You're
But
here.
at the end of the day,
You're here.
Yeah.
I'm still a person who holds 5 college certificates. I'm a widow with taking care of 2 of my babies. I'm not gonna let him think he won over me. His willpower to want to destroy me is my ammunition to keep fighting another day.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, John, I'll let you close it out. You got anything else to add, Janine?
I'm good.
No, I just want to say thank you for being here.
Yes.
Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
It's so important. And
Having the strength to tell your
You're-
story.
right,
I
for you to
appreciate
Stranger.
for you to come into this
appreciate
venue
you.
and to go into other venues and continue the work.
Yes.
You don't know how many people you're helping.
Yes.
And to turn such a terrible thing into such a great thing, it's amazing. It's a testament to you. I hope you stick with it. I hope
Yes.
you keep doing it. There's no reason not to.
You haven't heard the
here's
last of me.
everyone here's got your back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Haven't
encourage
heard
you to
the
write a
last of
book.
me.
Yeah.
Keep
No.
up the
I'm
good
working
fight.
on it.
Who's
I'm
gonna play
working.
you in the movie? That's what I want to know. Who's gonna play you in the movie? That's a.
Sandra Bullock or Julia Roberts? Because when I had 2 eyes and red hair, I looked just like Julia
But
Roberts.
your story is great. Your story is amazing. But your strength is what the book is really gonna.
Yes.
Yeah.
bring out to the public. It's gonna just show
I'm
them
working on that.
how to survive.
So definitely a work in progress.
Well, the
I'm trying.
advertisement
I'm
is
giving it my all.
You know, you're a survivor.
So, so until next week, or on the 29th when we do our football show,
We'll let you know.
we'll let you know.
Informed.
Go ahead, John, take it out.
I'm John Barbario.
I am Dave Sweat.
And I'm Janine Bedford Sims.
And I am Katie.
Woohoo!
And we are NST Live. We'll see you next time, folks.
Peace out, everybody. Thanks for
Bye.
joining us.
My phone is doing. You okay, Katie? You did amazing, girl.